If you watch as many Amazon FBA sourcing videos as I do, you might notice a trend. Every time sellers actually show the products they're going out and buying, they're Ungated brands like Disney, Nike, or Lego. The reason for this is simple. Their viewers are less likely to be able to go out and buy those products, so their viewers are less likely to become their competition. But if you're like me, you might be wondering, how do you get ungated in those big brands? Well, all you have to do is watch this video and I'll show you the right way to do it. If you're new here, my name's Tom with Path to Billions. On this channel, I'm documenting my financial journey and taking you along so we could succeed together. My channel is currently focused around Amazon FBA, so if you're looking to start or grow an Amazon FBA business, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. For this video, there are actually two methods to getting ungated on Amazon, and I'll show you both methods. If you're an Amazon seller that buys most of your products through retail or online arbitrage, then this first method is going to be how you get ungated in the majority of categories and brands on Amazon. It's a super simple process called auto approval. This just means Amazon automatically approves your application to sell in those brands or categories if you simply ask them. To utilize this method, you could either do it while doing retail arbitrage and you could do it on the Seller Central app, or you could do it while doing online arbitrage and do it on the Seller Central website. For retail arbitrage, when you are out sourcing for products and you scan an item you are gated in, you will see a little request button in the bottom right corner. From there, it will bring you to another page where you want to hit request approval. And then if you are approved, you will see a new page pop up that says congratulations. Then from there, you go back to the home screen, rescan the item, and you should see no restrictions. However, do keep in mind that sometimes Amazon's servers do take a minute to update. So if you do see you're still restricted, just wait a minute and then rescan the item, and then the restrictions should be lifted. This method for requesting approval is great because while you're out sourcing for products, you could get your approval right there and you know whether or not you should buy the product. For online arbitrage, you want to have the Add a Product page open on Seller Central. On that page, you will then type in either the UPC or the ASIN, and you will see Apply to Sell on the right-hand side. When you click that button, you will be brought to the selling application page, which is actually the same page we got on the mobile app. From there, you will click Request Approval, and if you're approved, you will see congratulations. So, if you apply for a product and you don't get approved, you might be wondering why this method didn't work for you. Well, the way auto approval works on Amazon is you are earning the right to sell in these certain brands or categories once you show Amazon you are capable of running a quality business. Amazon will look at a number of different factors to make this determination. They will look at your inventory performance index, your return rate, your total sales, whether you've received any IP claims in the past, your entire account history to determine if they can trust that you are selling legitimate products on their platform. To improve your odds of succeeding with this method, there are several things you can do, which you should already be doing as a business owner. One is to simply sell more. This improves your sales volume, which shows Amazon you are a serious seller. Another thing you can do is improve your IPI, or Inventory Performance Index, and this shows Amazon that you are capable of maintaining proper inventory levels on their platform. I actually did an entire video on improving your IPI over here, and I'll link it down in the description if you want to check that out. Another thing you can do is if you get any returns, figure out why they were returned and see if you can do anything to prevent those returns in the future. As I mentioned, these are all things you should be doing as an Amazon FBA business owner. And why I mentioned that auto approval will be the way you get ungated in the majority of brands and categories on Amazon. As you grow your Amazon business, you should see your metrics constantly improving over time, which will in turn allow you to get ungated in more brands and more categories. There are limitations to this method, and this method can take a really long time if you're looking to get ungated in big brands like, say, Disney. My goal when I first thought about making this video nearly a year ago when I first started out on YouTube was that I could track my own progress with getting ungated on Amazon and where my Amazon account was when I got ungated. Then I can make a detailed video for you guys to report back that you need to hit this metric in order to get ungated in these brands. But this is where limitations come into play. I've been selling full-time on Amazon FBA for over a year now. I have nearly 200,000 in gross sales in that time period. Guess what? Still not approved to sell Nike, Lego, Disney, Barbie, or any of the other major brands that come to mind. Can you get auto approved in these big brands? supposedly if what other sellers have said is true. But it's not reliable, and there's no set goal for you guys to reach for. But there is the second method, which I had mentioned in the beginning of this video, which can get you approved in some of these big brands. Plus, the biggest benefit is you don't have to be an established Amazon seller to use this method to get Ungated. You can start your Amazon account tomorrow, follow this method, and then start selling these big brands within a week or two of opening up your account. If you're finding this video helpful so far, don't forget to give this video a like so the YouTube algorithm will favor me. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. How does this method work? Great question. If you noticed earlier, when we were seeking auto approval, you're brought to this page if you weren't automatically approved. This is the second method, which will get you Ungated in some of these bigger brands. When we talked about the first method, I had mentioned that we are earning the right to sell in these big brands. The way we did that was by running a solid business on Amazon, and then they would slowly trust you. This method gets Amazon to trust your product source instead of necessarily trusting your business. Amazon wants to see you have a legitimate supply chain where you are buying these products from a legitimate wholesale supplier who is buying these products from a manufacturer. These wholesale suppliers should have the authority to pass on the right to you to sell their products on Amazon. In order to prove your right to sell these products, you're going to need at least one purchase invoice of these products from a manufacturer or distributor. This invoice is given to you by a wholesale supplier when you purchase products from them. When utilizing this invoice, make sure you are able to check all these boxes. Dated on or after the given date, include your name and address, include the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor who you are buying from, show the combined purchase of at least 10 units, you have the option of omitting the pricing information, and it is possible Amazon will actually contact the supplier to make sure this is a legitimate invoice. The two big things to note on this are making sure you are buying at least 10 units of a given product that you're trying to get Ungated for, plus the fact that Amazon may actually contact the supplier who you're purchasing these products from, and that just means don't go faking invoices to get Ungated in a brand, because if you get caught, you're probably really screwed. If you're wondering how to find your first wholesale supplier, don't worry, I already have that covered in this video over here. The process for this method is pretty simple. Say you want to get Ungated in Barbie. You would go find a legitimate supplier who sells Barbie products, and you would create an account with them. Quick but important note here is that in order to work with a legitimate wholesale supplier, you yourself will have to be a legitimate business. You can start off with just a sole proprietor, but I do recommend going with an LLC once you have the ability to do so. I did briefly touch on this in that video about finding your first wholesale supplier, so I definitely recommend checking that out after you watch this video. Once you have your account open with them, you can go through their product list and find the products that you want to get Ungated for. From there, you will have the product shipped to yourself, and your supplier will send you an invoice once they are shipped. For me, my suppliers send me an invoice directly to my email as soon as the product is shipped out. Each supplier will be different, but if you are buying from a legitimate wholesale supplier, they will send you an invoice when you purchase products from them. Then, once you have the invoice in hand, you will go back to the selling application page, you will upload it in this little box here, and then you will check all the boxes as long as they apply. Unlike the first method we had discussed, this one is not automatic, and Amazon will actually go through your documentation for this. My personal experience is they usually approve me within under 48 hours, but again, everyone's experience may differ. One thing I think is important to mention here is that these 10 units you are purchasing don't necessarily have to be profitable units depending what your goals are. If you are primarily sourcing via retail or online arbitrage, it might make sense for you to take an L on those first 10 units so you get Ungated in Barbie sooner. Then, when you are outsourcing, you can make up for that loss by finding Barbie products in store. For me, I'm actually trying to get into wholesale more, so I'm willing to take the time to find profitable Barbie products and then get Ungated that way. The other important thing to note here is if you are simply using these invoices to get Ungated to then source from retail or online arbitrage, you still do have to worry about IP claims. Make sure you are keeping your receipts to prove to Amazon this is a legitimate product, just in case you receive an IP claim, even though you are sourcing from a store instead of a wholesale supplier. Also, I see this question pop up a lot with this topic, and that's whether you get Ungated with a receipt, and simply you can't. The reason for this is simply because a receipt does not provide the information Amazon is looking for. However, as I mentioned, a receipt can cover you if you do get an IP claim. If you are interested in utilizing this method to get Ungated in brands sooner rather than later, definitely check out my video on finding your first wholesale supplier. If you found this video helpful or informative, drop a like to help me help others. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. As always, thanks for watching.